favorite things about Minecraft is how cozy you can make the game, and with the recent announcement of all of our new breeds of cows, pigs, and chickens spawning in their different biomes, it just got a whole lot cozier. So with this new update, I wanted to challenge myself to spend the next 100 days tracking down every single new farm animal variant and giving them a home worthy of their cuteness. I'll be building custom barns specific to the biomes you can find these new farm animals in, and I'll be surrounding them by tons of crop fields, flower gardens, and a buzzing little honeybee farm. I have so many plans for our cozy little farmyard, so let's get right into it. All right, here we are, a brand new world with so many new things to explore. I already see the new cactus flowers that were added to the game, and if you listen really closely, you can hear the ambient desert sounds that they added. Oh, it sounds so good. I love the life that they added to Minecraft just by adding these. Can I punch and get the flowers? There we go, we got a cactus flower. That's so fun. Oh, okay, before we get too distracted by the new things that Minecraft has added, we need to get some of the basics done, like punching a tree and trying to get some basic resources. Also, I just noticed there's desert grass, which is super cute, but I was gonna say we're also going to collect any sugarcane we see along the way so that we can get paper and start collecting resources towards an enchanting table. Ooh, and lily of the valleys for some white dye for later. Oh my goodness, the firefly bushes. Oh, and there's 3 of them. Stop. Okay. We need to make sure that we can get some shears so that we can take these with us to our starter house. Okay, I'm really gonna hope that there is an iron golem here so that we can get some shears. But before we check out this village, let's do the classic Minecraft thing of punching a tree, making a crafting table, and making some basic tools. And we're going to upgrade these tools as soon as we possibly can to get some better ones. And we will immediately upgrade the tools that we started with. Then we spent some time looting the village and seeing what resources we wanted to grab from it. Okay, out of the corner of my eye, I can see one of the new farm animals. Look at this. It's the new cows that spawn in the warm biomes. Let's take a look at our little friends. Oh my goodness. Hi. Hello. Wow, look at you! You've got horns and all! Oh my gosh! Wow, oh my goodness, they're so cool looking! Oh, and they've got little like pink ears behind their horns. Oh my gosh. They're so cute, and their little snoots stick out of their faces. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. Okay, we found the cows. Now we just need to figure out where the chickens and the pigs are. But while we wait to see if we stumble across those, let's just keep on looting the village. Ooh, and a bundle. Ooh, okay, let's put all of our goodies in here. This will save us some space. Ooh, we've got a bucket, more bread, more seeds. Ooh, and look at this. We got an iron golem, so we can go back and grab those firefly bushes. All right, let's just run away from the iron golem. Hi, sir. I'm sorry I had to punch you, and I'm sorry for this too. There we go. Our first bits of iron in the world, and we got 3. So I'm first going to craft some shears so we can go and grab those firefly bushes. And before we head out, we're just gonna finish looting this place. Another bundle inside the cartographers, I'll take it. And there's another iron golem, so I'm gonna boop you and do some running. Oh wait, look, these are new bushes too. These bushes are new. Oh my goodness, that's so fun. Also, the iron golem didn't see me. Oh, iron golem, did you see me? Yes, you saw me now. Sorry, Iron Golem. Thank you for your sacrifice, Mr. Iron Golem. I greatly appreciate it. And it is night, so let's go to bed for the first time in our world. We spent the next morning grabbing some final resources before we were on our way heading towards where we would base for this 100 days. We then mined up our first pieces of iron from a cave and collected some coal. We then smelted up our first pieces of iron and got ourselves a little bit more prepared. All right, we've got some food, we've got some iron, we've got a bed. I think we're doing pretty good for some starter resources. Now, what I want to do is quickly grab some of this sugarcane and then go back and grab a bunch of those firefly bushes we're able to see along the shoreline here. And then we're gonna make our way towards our new starter house area. There we go. Oh, I'm so excited to use these. I'm such a fan of the particle effects in Minecraft, and I mainly... Hello? Oh my gosh, doggos! Oh, I don't have bones. Oh, I wish I had bones. That would be so nice to get some doggos. But like I was saying, oh, and there's leaf litter. Oh, I love the leaf litter. Wait, those are new dog sounds. Oh my goodness, you make new sounds? Stop. Can I feed you? Oh my gosh, they make new dog sounds. Oh my goodness, that's so cute. What the heck? I didn't know they did that. Oh, I love that even more. Okay, I'm getting distracted. We spent the next bit of time running through different biomes until we finally found the perfect place to base for these next 100 days. Along the way, we came across some of the new warm biome pigs and marveled at their cuteness, and then we collected up some jungle logs and saplings. Also, real quick, since it is getting night, I'm curious if I put a firefly bush out, if we'll start getting some fireflies. There they are! Whoa, and it's ambient too? Oh, that's so cool. Look at these particles. Stop. Okay, I'm also gonna stop the night because I don't want mobs coming after me. The morning of day 3, we woke up in the jungle and continued on our way over to our new base area. Along the way, we came across the new chickens. Oh my gosh, look at these guys. Oh, I can get the new eggs. Oh, look it, it's a brown egg. Oh my gosh, we can get the new chicken eggs. Look at you, you're so cute. I keep getting so distracted, but we just need to put our head down and continue looking for a place to base. We then stopped by a ruined portal, which had some lodestones, which was a new thing that you can now find in the chest, so we grabbed those and some of the tools. Okay, I'm actually super excited about these lodestones because now we can make a compass that will help guide us home. And that is one of the changes that they made, is instead of having to use a full netherite ingot to make a lodestone, you can just use a piece of iron. So I think they're more easily accessible in the world because you can make them a lot easier, which I would never previously consider using a lodestone because I didn't want to use my precious netherite. But now that they're just an iron ingot, I'm more likely to use them as a way to get back to our base area. We then once again got distracted and looted a sunken ship. Okay, I'm actually very excited that we got some carrots and potatoes because we are going to try our best to get all of the different crop types so that we can have lots of different foods for our animals. And I'm really happy we were able to find some additional armor, even if it's leather. Also, look at this. You can make a banner pattern with vines. I didn't know that either, so there's definitely new things being added, and I, for one, am very excited. Okay, I was gonna look for this map, but I'm just realizing that we are on day 3, and I still haven't even found where I want to base. So we are just going to put our head down, stop getting distracted, this time for real, and find a place for us to base. As we made our way through different biomes, we saw many beautiful landscapes, but we still hadn't found the perfect place to base yet. All right, I told myself I wouldn't get distracted, but you know, there's spruce here. I feel like spruce is worthy of getting distracted, right? Right? I'm gonna just tell myself that at least. We collected up the spruce wood and saplings. We then stopped and made ourselves an iron chest plate and replaced our leather one with our new iron. And we made an iron helmet. Oh, and we just stumbled upon one of the new features, the fallen logs and the mushrooms that grow on them. Man, this is so cool. I know that these spawn in forests at times, and we get to see our very first one. Of course, I do love mushrooms, but I'm definitely gonna leave that alone because that is just too cool to see in the wild finally. It reminds me a lot of having the fallen birch logs like we saw in some of those concept arts for a new birch biome, but it's so cool to see them not only in birch biomes, but in other forest biomes as well. We then tested out our new Frostwalker boots as we continued making our way through the biomes. And after what seemed like forever, we finally made it to where we wanted to base for this 100 days. Ooh, okay, look at this. It's like the perfect little basin to create a little cozy animal barn. We've got lots of oak trees that we can use for the builds as we clear space. But I honestly really like the idea of being in this little basin here. We can have like the warm farm animals be over here and make their own little warm biome. We can make the cold biome be on this side and the temperate one be in the back. I really like this. Now, I do understand that this will be a lot of terraforming and just tree clearing, but I will be using a lot of oak wood for these builds, so I'd say this works pretty good. So we're just going to set our spawn, get our crafting table out, we'll set up a chest and put some goodies away and start clearing out some trees. So we made our first axe and got to chopping. We then took a break to place down some torches so we wouldn't have mobs spawning between all of the very dense forested tree areas. Day 6, we spent clearing trees and placing down more torches. We then crafted our first shovel and started doing some terraforming. Whoa, there is a giant cave here. Oh my goodness, we could get so many good resources from here. Whoa, and whoa, that's 3 creepers. Okay, you know, we'll come back later. I like that, but once I have a shield, then I'll like it more. For now, I am going to semi-cover this area over so that our land can be a little bit more flattened. And we're able to have our starter house be kind of over here. I think I like the idea of just being able to cover this area over, and then we can have kind of like our starter house have kind of like a mining basement section to it. But for now, let's quickly light this up and plug up this lava so we don't have lava flowing in here. The morning of day 7, we spent time clearing the remaining trees and covering over the hole with some dirt. Okay, this is one of the other new plant types that they added. I wonder, can I shear it? I can shear it, but they added the bush. So this is different from the grass, and this is so cute. It's just nice to have a little bit of a different variety to what we have available for like little plants besides the ferns and grass. But look it, we have some bushes. I'm gonna remove these so that I can make sure that we can keep them, and we'll put them in a chest for now. But that's just so cool to see. We actually have little bushes now. I'm also gonna make a composter because I am getting so many pieces of this leaf litter that we might as well just convert this into bone meal. All right, we now have this area completely covered over, and we're just gonna be able to have this be probably where our first build is gonna go. Now, I do also want to make sure we get down some more torches so that we don't end up having a bunch of mobs spawning. Since we are kind of in a valley, the sun eventually just leaves this area completely, and then we're just left with a lot of dark spots where mobs could hide. All right, now one of the issues that I keep having is I keep on running out of decent tools, so I'm thinking that for now, we do a little bit of mining, and what we're gonna do is just climb down this ladder here, and now that we've got ourselves a shield and some armor, we're gonna go mining and hopefully find some goodies. I did bring a bunch of sticks, and we should have enough torches, but we already have our first mob wanting to come and get us, so let's have our first face-off. After dealing with our first few mobs, we ventured further into the cave. We explored the cave while lighting it up to make sure it was safer to collect all of the resources we were seeing in this cave. We fought off mobs as we went and discovered a mine shaft hidden in the floor. Oh, a mine shaft! Ooh, that's so good, unless there's a cave spider spawner, which would be very bad. With the possibility of a cave spider spawner being right there, we procrastinated exploring the mine shaft by lighting up the rest of the place some more and fighting mobs, collecting up a bunch of iron and coal around the cave. We then had the courage to finally go down and explore the mine shaft, and we did immediately see a cave spider spawner, so we blocked that off and pretended it didn't exist. No thank you. No thank you, no thank you. From there, it was a lot of placing torches and collecting up different ores that we saw along the way. Days 8 through 10 were spent in the mine collecting ores, and we even were able to find a zombie spawner. With our first spawner found, we spent time lighting it up, and we found a minecart nearby, got rid of some zombies that had spawned, and checked the chests for loot. From there, we smelted our iron, made iron boots, which completed our full set of iron armor. All right, now that I've probably spawned several dozen of the cave spiders, we're just gonna get out of here. I'm a little bit nervous about sticking around, but I am very glad that we have a zombie spawner. Now let's get out of here and keep going down further once I figure out how to get out of here. We then continued exploring the mineshaft, finding more minecarts, collecting a bunch of ores, and finally, after being down there for a while, I realized I was very lost. All right, I am officially kind of lost, and so I'm trying, we'll take these melon seeds, I'm trying to find my way out. I don't know how well I'm doing by any means. I'm just collecting resources as I go, but I'm kind of lost. So once we're out of this cave, we're going back to the surface because I definitely have enough iron to at least start doing all of the building and have some better tools. So once we're out of here, we're gonna stay out of here. So after running around the mineshaft a bit more and finding another minecart, we finally began tunneling our way towards the surface. All right, I broke out into a cave, and I think what we'll do is we'll see if I'm able to just collect. Oh, there's the light. There's light. I see it. I see the end is in sight. The exit. I can almost feel it. Oh, it feels so good to see sun again. Hello. Oh, wait. A zombie village! I mean, let's be honest, they're definitely goners at this point. I've been tunneling under them for so long. But I did want to firstly get rid of this lava source block, so let's just quickly do that. All right, there we go. We've blocked off the lava. Okay, now that we're finally down into our valley, it feels so good to be home. Now, the next thing I want to do is, because we have a bunch more iron, we can have some better tools, and that will help us with clearing out more of these trees. But first things first, I want to make sure that we put away all of our goodies that we were able to find. So after a long day in the mines, let's get some sleep. All right, it's day 11, and it is time to do a lot of terraforming to get this place ready for all of our builds. So let's grab our axe and get chopping. Okay, we are going to make a compass, and I want to try connecting a lodestone to this. So if I just place this down here, and then I click my compass to it. Country load, take me home. I've never done this before because now it's actually cheap. And now, look at this. It's always gonna point me home, so even when we're underground or wherever, I will always know where I am. Oh, this is so good. Days 11 through 20, we spent terraforming the ground around us to flatten it out more to make building up our starter house and farms for our animals easier. With all of the leaf litter we were collecting up, we made a bone meal machine to help us get some of that extra leaf litter out of our chests and give us some extra bone meal. And since the terraforming and chopping down trees took us so many days, let me go over with you guys the plan and vision I have for this little farm in our valley. Now, I decided to have our walkway down into the valley be right around here, and because of this, I want our starter house to be front and center. So what that means is I want my starter house to be right against here, and it is going to be a windmill, so we're gonna have some windmill blades in the middle, and then since we have 3 categories of farm animals now, being cold, warm, and temperate, I think I'm going to put a cold biome animal barn over here with the different variants. We'll probably then put the warm biome barn across from it. And then since the temperate is our classic, I think we could kind of just place it anywhere that we want. We might be able to fit it in right at this corner or at this corner. Now, to provide food for all of our farm animals, I do like the idea of having these little square farm fields with carrots and potatoes and wheat. We could even add beetroot just for the heck of it, but I think this will look really cool. And then as far as other builds and other things we can add to the area, we could just add in some builds in the corners here, in between everything and along the paths. But this this is what I have for my concept. We have our starter house in the front, we've got the different biome barns on the sides, and then we're gonna fill in the space with little crop field. Then of course, towards the end, we will start adding in the little details that will really make this barnyard and farm come to life for these 100 days. And now that you know the layout, let's get back into the video. All right, we've got the majority of our landscape all smoothed out, and this looks so much better and will be a whole lot easier to map out where our little builds are gonna go. Let me just figure out how I want my starter house to look, and then let's start mapping this out. All right, we've got creative mode red here, and we are going to go over the block palette that we're using to build our starter house, which is going to be a combination house and windmill to fit our little farm theme. Now, since we've been chopping down a lot of oak trees, I figured it makes sense that we incorporate some oak. I also brought home some spruce saplings, so we're going to use some spruce. We also came out over a cherry grove on the other side of our hill, so we're going to use some cherry. We have a lot of stone within the caves, so we're going to use some stone that will smelt up. We'll use some andesite, and we're also going to make some stone brick as well as just some regular cobblestone. And this is going to be the block palette that we're going to be using for our starter house. So without further ado, let's get back into our world and start building. All right, I've got a bunch of cobblestone so we can mark out where we're going to have our build, and I really want our starter house to be directly across from the staircase that's going to lead down into this area. And since I think right in here where our floating tree is kind of where I want our entrance down into our little valley to be, which means that we are going to start our little starter house windmill right over here. So I'm just gonna push some of this grass back, and then we'll start laying out our foundation. We're gonna make a circle for the base of the windmill, and it's gonna be 5 like so, and then 1, 2, and then 5 again, 1, 2, 5 again, 1, 2, 5 again, and 1, 2. Then from here, we're going 1, 2, 3 to make our little entrance room, and then we'll just break this open, and this will be our little entrance. And since we have so much oak, we are going to make a 5 by 5 room on either side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll come across to here and get that all stripped down as well. Perfect. So we have one room, and then we'll just mirror it on the other side. Then we'll go up 3 blocks high all the way around, and same on the other side. And we're going to break away this side wall and replace it with oak. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. And since it is dark, we are going to bed. The morning of day 21, we collected resources and continued building our starter house. Okay, we found some lava, so I'm going to extinguish some of this so that we can use this for some obsidian later on to make a nether portal. One thought that I had was because we kind of decided to base a little bit further away from spawn, and we do need to get a bunch of animals from the warm biomes, is I think it would be pretty cool if we would make a little nether tunnel over to spawn so we can collect some of those supplies over there and resources. But for now, we are going to get some cherry wood so we can continue building our starter house. Wow, that wandering trader was really talkative, but then he just, gave me the leads and disappeared. Imagine that. Now we can get back to collecting our resources for our starter house. All right, it is night, so it might be a little bit dicey getting back, but at the same time, it will be nice to just be able to have a more lit up way to get back home. Oh, I'm gonna die if I keep taking fall damage. All right, let's quickly go to sleep. Then from days 22 to 23, we got to work building up our starter house windmill. We replaced the smaller front cobble box with stripped cherry for our entrance, then we started adding in our spruce roof trim and filling it in with cherry slabs. For our side buildings, we made them out of oak and added a cherry trim and filled in the roof with spruce slabs to contrast our entrance. From there, we used all of our stone and andesite variants to build up our walls, and then we removed the dirt floor and replaced it with oak planks for our flooring. We then started breaking open the walls to add some windows, and we got rid of an unwanted guest. We then filled in our roof with spruce slabs and continued building up our walls with more stone variants. Alright, we've got our main entryway and this side room's done, and it's looking really good so far. I'm also going to have a second and third level to this, but for now, we're just going to leave this like so. And then what we need to do is grab some more stone variants, so we are gonna go back underground, and I should probably make a new shield before we do that because I have a feeling we will encounter some more skeletons. I'm also really hoping we will be able to find some diamonds because I would love to be able to set up that nether portal soon so that we can easily get to and from spawn to move some of our other animals. But for now, let's get collecting up some stone. So the evening of day 23 into day 24, we collected up a bunch of cobble and some andesite to continue building up the walls of our house. Back on the surface, the morning of day 24, we built up our house's walls with the stone and andesite we had mined up. From there, we took our spruce stairs, planks, and trapdoors to create an exterior rim around our balcony so that we would have a second level of the build looking more decorated. Once we filled in the floor and we added in a fence to the balcony to keep us from falling, we could finally start working on the tower that the windmill would be attached to. We decided to go with stripped oak logs for this since we had so many from chopping trees, and in the corners we decided to use some stripped spruce to add some color and contrast to the tower. Alright, we've got most of the build done. All we need to do is texture with some oak planks the middle of this and put the roof on, but the roof is going to be made of cherry. So what we're going to do is go and grab some wool for the windmill blades and grab some more cherry wood. So we've got our axe, but we will make a second axe as a backup and go collect some cherry, and we'll collect some wool. The morning of day 26, we made it over the mountain's edge so that we could go collect up a bunch of wool and hopefully bring back some cows and some sheep. We also decided to check if there was any villagers, but instead just found some empty chests that we decided to loot. With the hay bales and potatoes we found in the village, we decided to spend the next bit of time moving over a bunch of cows, sheep, and pigs into our little village. Okay, come on guys, we've got a long ways to go up this hill, but it will all be worth it. I'll feed you lots of snacks, it will be wonderful. Just please follow me, don't get distracted, and we will make it up this way together. Unfortunately, I would soon learn that that statement would in fact soon be a lie. What started out as a quaint stroll up the mountainside and down ended up turning into sheer chaos, all because I forgot one tiny little detail. Animals take fall damage, which, yeah, did not end well for the sheep and the pigs. Well, that didn't go to plan. All of my pigs and my sheep died, and all I'm getting are these cows down from here. My goodness. Okay. This is a little bit... okay. Yeah, okay. We gotta be more careful. Note to self, make a safer way for the animals to get down from the mountainside. This is bad. I'm so sorry, cows. I'm sorry you witnessed your friend's deaths. Okay, well, we got cows. That's a start. I didn't think about the fact that me picking this really pretty valley would make it really difficult for us to get all of our farm animals that we want to collect in these 100 days. But that definitely is the case. We then built some pens for the cows and went back to go and get some pigs and sheep. This time, I made sure to take the long way down to ensure that no lives were lost, which with a little bit more patience, everyone got down safely. Alright, we've got all of our little pigs and sheep and cows all bred up, and this is pretty good for our start to our little farm. I'm very excited about it. Now, we do have some birch fence, and we have 2 of these brown eggs, and even though I'm pretty confident we're not going to get some chickens out of this, I figured why not try? And then we'll place this down. Okay, well, we tried to get some chickens. I guess we have to go on a chicken, a literal, like, Easter egg hunt kind of a thing, but without the Easter, just egg hunt. But now that we've got some of our farm animals, it's time to finish up the roof, which does require us to get more cherry wood, since that's what I want to make our roof out of. So we've got some here, but I think we're gonna need a bit more. So we're gonna go to sleep and then start a new adventure to get more cherry. Now, the other thing we're going to need to start doing, and which is one reason why I went to get some sheep now, is I want to use white wool for our windmill blades. So we're just gonna have to, over time, let these guys grow their wool so that we're finally able to get enough wool for our windmill blades. But for now, I'm gonna start getting a bunch of the other supplies that we'll need to make these windmill blades. Now, a lot of this is going to be made out of spruce fences and spruce trapdoors. So we are going to need to collect more spruce, so we're just going to go up on our little tree platform here, get some spruce chopped, get some cherry wood chopped, and then make ourselves some windmill blades. After we collected up a fair bit of spruce, we went down to shear our sheep, and then we went down to collect some sand to make us some glass. While we were out collecting sand and resources, we found some chickens, so we decided to lead those back home. All right, we've got all of our temperate biome farm animals collected up, and this feels so good. Look at this, we've got all of them. And it's only day 28, so we've got all of our farm animals from the temperate biome. Now we just need to finish our starter home once we get enough wool, and we will be ready to go. We'll just do some more breeding up of you guys as well, and we'll breed up our little chickens. Then we got back to work working on our windmill starter house. For the blades of the windmill, we used a lot of spruce fences, trapdoors, and then we used some wool for the actual blades, along with some slabs and some more trapdoors. With this combination of blocks in our inventory, we just repeated the process 3 more times until we had 4 windmill blades completed. However, after only completing 2 of them, we were interrupted by a thunderstorm, which we slept through the night, bringing us into day 29, where we finished the last 2 windmill blades. The final touch we added was adding some white stained glass next to the white wool, and then we had our windmill blades completed. All right, we finished the windmill blades, and so now all we need to do is the roof, and we're gonna be using cherry for that. So we're just gonna empty out and swap some resources so that we can have more room for all of the cherry blocks that we'll need. And we'll chop down a bit more cherry just to be safe. For the windmill roof, we started off with some stairs, then we added cherry planks to the corners, filling in the 3 middle with some more stairs. Added in 2 rows of cherry planks, added some stairs to the corner of those, then added a little bit of texture with some stripped cherry logs to the corners and some fences, then built up 2 more cherry planks in the corners connected to the fences, replaced the middle plank with stairs, and finish up the top with some more planks. All right, we have our starter house done, and I think this is so cute. I love how this turned out. I think the last thing that I really want to do is add a few more pieces of oak leaves into this middle, like, kind of terrace area, and then we're gonna grab some regular oak planks to texture in with the stripped oak, just so that there's a little bit more texture and variety to what we have going on our actual windmill. So I'll just grab some extra oak. And we're bringing some spruce because I did notice I forgot part of the back. Now we'll just come through and add in some oak planks for some texture all the way up the different sides of this windmill. Even though going the extra step to add in some texture with the oak planks does take a bit more time, I'm always so happy with how it looks in the end. All right, with the added texture into the oak segments, I think this looks way better. However, I did kind of want to add some cherry fences in between these spruce beams. And then I also thought it could be cool if we added some spruce logs kind of like sticking out a little bit, or at least facing, so that the top of the spruce log faces out, just for a little bit of extra texture on the outside edges. So as far as where we're going to place these spruce logs, I think we'll place them right in here. And then another thing I think would be kind of cool is if we add some cherry buttons for some contrast, and then we'll have 3 logs in between, and then have our next spruce log be right there. On the inside, we'll use some dirt, and we'll just go in between every 3 and keep with this same pattern. There we go. Just by placing a few of the spruce logs at a different angle, I think this looks great. And I also realized I forgot this entire pillar. One moment. There we go. Now we've got all of our walls filled in, and I really like how this looks. Now let's just start working on the interior and figuring out what we want this to look like. Now we do have a few different layers to this. We've got this layer right here, and then if we come up here, we've got the tower. Now I'm thinking that my idea for this area is going to be having the enchanting table set up here, because I can have the bookshelves be right here, and the actual enchanting table itself can be in the middle here. Then we just be able to come up the ladders here and do our enchanting. So this will be reserved for our enchanting setup once we actually find some obsidian and diamonds and are able to make that. This area we could have be for solely just storage. I think that would be really helpful if we just had a storage level. And then down here, this can be more decorative, this can be crafting. We can have a different segment for certain more like special items on these side bits here. But I think we grab some resources and just start decorating our starter house. For the decor, we started on the outside of the build, adding in some lanterns, adding in some coarse dirt, some fences, some leaves, and of course the firefly bushes and the new bush variant. From there, we went inside and worked on adding a bunch of chests for our storage level, adding some barrels, some glass on the windows, some shelves under the windows, and added the windows to our bottom level. Oh, listen to all the little fireflies. Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh, they make such wonderful sounds. Oh, I love this so much. Look at them, the little fireflies just roaming about. Oh, I love how there's ambient sounds. I didn't realize that was part of this. This is so cool. Okay. I love these little firefly particles. It's so cute. Oh my goodness. Wow. I love that so much. That is so cool. Wow. Okay. Well, I was just about to say, we've gotten the second level where all of our chests and things are going to go done. We've got barrels and chests. I can open all of these. I made sure that the roof and the ceiling wasn't going to block them off on both sides. But we've just got some very basic decorations. Lanterns, some leaves, some glowberries, with a bunch of just chests and barrels. But down here is where we're gonna have the ability to make it more fun and interesting. So we're just going to add in some walls here. I think we'll be able to have some sections be for more like cooking, like a smoker and furnaces, and then we'll have this be more like crafting. We can have like blast furnaces, we can have the stone cutters, things like that, and then this will kind of just be the generic, just everyday kind of use type of a place. So I think that's what I want to do. So let's just add in all of our decorations. Once we had more shelving and we moved on to making a little kitchen, crafting, smelting area, we then set up our bedroom with some bookshelves and some chiseled bookshelves, a lantern, and some leaves. From there we went to the third level where we would set up our enchanting table, but we only placed down the few bookshelves that we had. We then added a few cherry leaves for some particles. We then added some campfires underneath the blast furnace and smoker to add some more life to our kitchen. And then we had a little visitor stop by with some friends. Ooh, guys, look at this. The wandering traders have been updated, and we already can get efficiency pickaxes from them? That's crazy. I don't currently have emeralds that I'm aware of, so unfortunately, we just gotta, let this guy be. But if I did have more than just 3, we would definitely, get some things from them. But for now, let's just take those leads. There we go, 2 leads, and no llamas were hurt in the collection of these leads. All right, now I'm just going around the outside edge and adding in some signs so that we kind of create some little cute planter boxes that just kind of adds some decorative details around our build. So we're just gonna keep doing that in the lovely rain here and do a little bit more decorating before we call it good. Okay, since we have these llamas kind of hanging around our base and we are making a farm for other animals, I figured we might as well try to make these llamas our friends and then they can hang around here. There we go. My first best friends forever achievement is a cute little llama. So we've got that llama and let's go tame this one. We also decided to give our llamas some carpets. There you go. Now you guys are styling. and we brought them over to where the other animals were. Has anyone noticed how these leads are invisible right now? What is up with this? Why are they invisible? This is such a weird glitch. What the heck? Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, they're both invisible. What on earth? This is so trippy. They just look like they're obedient little, like, good llamas, just like following their new owner. I kind of like that, but at the same time, look at this. It's literally invisible. What on earth? With 2 llamas added to our farm, we went back into the interior to continue decorating, adding in the final details of paintings, carpets, and leaves. Then we spent time moving all of our items from our starter storage into our new house. All right, it is the morning of day 33, and we finally have all of our starter area with our chests cleaned up and moved into our brand new starter house windmill. And I think this is a great start. Even though it is day 33, it took us a bit to get everything that we needed, but now that we're here, this is so wonderful. And we have some food that we can cook up in our new kind of kitchen area, crafting area. We've got our generic workbench area. I decided to move my bedroom down onto this level. Upstairs, we're just getting all of our storage filled in and putting everything away, and I think this is amazing. We do still need to finish getting our enchanting setup. That's probably like the last thing that I really need to work on in this area, but for now, we are going to call that good. Now, since we've been building for quite a bit, I think it's time to go on a little adventure to find some of the new farm animals, and I want to find some resources to build those farm animals their very own little barn. Now, before we leave on our adventure, I'm going to grab the 2 bundles that I have and these 2 leads. I think having boats is going to be very helpful, so we'll probably bring a bit of extra wood with us. We also need to grab some food items, so let's grab a potato for the pigs, we'll grab the wheat seeds, and we got some wheat for the sheep and cows. I'm also going to bring my lodestone to help me find my way home, since I did hook it up to this lodestone in our floor, so that we will never get lost. I think without further ado, let's go find some new farm animals. Now, I think what will be the easiest is I did see an acacia biome over there, a savanna. So I do know that since the warm animals are probably the closest for me to pick up right now, that I thought that we could just go find some of them. So we're gonna somehow make it up this hillside and go and get some warm biome animals. Hopefully we'll collect all of them. And I am also hoping that we can get all of the materials that I need. I don't know where a Badlands biome is, but I'm hoping that because we're near the acacia biome on this side, that if I just do some adventuring, we'll eventually stumble onto one, and it won't take me too many days to do that. Okay, we are on the top of the hill, finally. I really need to figure out an easier way to travel, but look at that, our savanna. Hopefully lots of new little animals for us to bring home. I am very excited. I'm already getting distracted, but I found more of the bushes that have been recently added to the game, so of course I'm bringing these home. All right, now we're gonna hop in our boat and go find us some animals and collect up a bunch of resources. Okay, we found the cows. Yay. All right. I think what's gonna... Oh, and the pigs. Yay. And an armadillo. Oh my gosh, we have to bring home armadillos. I think what we're gonna do, though, is we're first gonna collect up the animals and bring them kind of to the water's edge. I feel like that's gonna be the easiest thing to do. So I'll probably just make little pens for them. So I'll just collect up these 3 cows here. Oh, there's 4. We'll collect up 4. We'll get these 4 cows here. Hello, Mr. Moo Moo. Day 34, we spent moving our cows, sheep, and chickens over to the water's edge and getting some resources as we went. All right, now that we've got all of the warm biome animals, we next are going to quickly take a little snooze, and then we are going to leave all of these guys here and go looking for resources to build them their barn. Wait, look. Real quick, look at the fireflies. Ugh, I love that. I'm gonna go grab those in the morning. The morning of day 35, we grabbed our firefly bushes and went off on a grand adventure looking for the resources to build our brand new farm animals a nice little warm biome barn. Along the way, we stopped and collected up a bunch of coal and iron. walked past another one of those fallen logs that's newly added to the game, until finally we found the Badlands biome. Ooh, here we are, guys, the Badlands biome. I also am super excited to have found this biome because I want to collect up a bunch of these little dead bushes. Oh, and the ambient sounds are here too. Listen. Windy sounds, sandy sounds. Oh, I love it so much. I just feel like there's tumbleweed like rustling behind me and just around this biome. I love so much that there's the ambient sounds. If you haven't already guessed, we're gonna be collecting up a bunch of terracotta, and specifically, I want to collect up a bunch of the yellow terracotta. But the yellow terracotta is the type that I'm most interested in because this is what I'm gonna make my walls of my barn out of. And then we are gonna use a bunch of these dead bushes in the pens in order to decorate it, as well as these guys. We are gonna use a bunch of the tall dry grass, and we'll use the short dry grass. I am so excited to use these, and I kind of like that there's like variations in size that we're able to use. It's not like the tall grass that's like green grass where you can only find them in like acacia, like savanna villages. We actually get options right off the bat, which I really like. So we're gonna collect up a bunch of dead bushes. We'll collect a bunch of the dry grass, and then we'll collect up a bunch of our yellow terracotta. Day 36, we woke up and started collecting up all of the dead bushes, dried grass, and terracotta that we would need. Alright, I have collected up 6 stacks of yellow terracotta, and this should be more than enough for what we need to build, so we are getting out of here. Also, look, there's another fallen log, and it's got a little brown mushroom on it. Oh, I love that so much. I love that there's fallen logs and fallen trees. I love what Minecraft is adding to this update. It is the best. We then spent the remainder of day 36 into day 37 trying to find our way through all of the dense foliage all the way back home. All right, we've got a bunch of acacia logs, we've got our yellow terracotta, I've got some extra acacia saplings, even a jungle sapling we came across, and we do have some other goodies inside our bundle here, and I think it is time for us to head back. So I think what's gonna be the easiest is if I start transporting all of my goods first, and a few of the animals, and then we will come back for the rest of them. All right, we're gonna put them inside a boat just because I don't think they can swim. So I think this will be the most efficient way for us to do this. We'll just see. Do I have the boat? Okay, I have the boat. It is so hard to tell because these leads are invisible. This glitch is so bizarre to me, but let's just make our way with our armadillos. Never did I ever think that I would swim armadillos across to land, but here we are. But now that they are officially on the other side, I think... Can I just like hit the boat from underneath it? Now we just have to bring them uphill. Okay, putting the armadillos in a boat and then us being able to just yeet them off the edge down here is gonna be so much easier. Look at this. Look at this. I don't even have to like worry. Oh, okay, now I broke the lead. That's kind of awkward. 1 second. Come along. Yay! All right, we finally have our armadillos in our base area, and that... Whew, that feels really good. Okay, let's just grab this lead. We'll leave the armadillos in here, and now we'll drop off our resources and go grab our other animals. All right, as for a location of where we're gonna put this barn, I want to put this to the right of my current starter house, windmill. So we are just gonna leave a bunch of the supplies that we'll be needing for this build right over here, and then we will go and grab our animals. But the shape is going to be a rectangle that is going to have a lot of these block tones that we had already collected up. Now it's time to go get our warm biome farm animals. We spent the evening of day 38 into day 39 working on transporting all of our cows, pigs, and our chickens over to our base area via boat, which did take us a bit more time, but ensured that we would safely get them over to our base area with no fall damage. All right, we are down to our last boat with our set of cows, and then we will have all of our animals moved across the waterway. This took a lot longer than I thought it would, but at the same time, now that we have all of the animals on top the little hillside here, it's gonna be a lot easier to bring them up because the boats kind of just jump up the side of the mountain. But because I only have the two leads, this will be a like 2 boats at a time type of a thing, which will take us a bit, but this ensures that none of my little warm biome farm animals end up dying to fall damage, like our issue with the temperate farm animals. So now I should just be able to lead this boat, and then we just go back in the water and swim them over to the others. This is probably the weirdest thing I've done. Usually I'm in the boat, but you know, to be able to get all of our animals across, this is fine by me. Oh my gosh, this is working so well. Look at them hopping. Yay, they're moving. We're going down into the valley. All right, we've got our first 2 sets of the warm biome farm animals. This feels so good. And we've got our armadillos for our warm biome. Look how fun this is. Oh, I'm so excited. We need to make sure we get our food up before we go back, but let's go and grab us our cows. Once we moved our 2 boats of cows and our boat with our pig and chicken, we were able to then start working on the outline for the animal barn our warm biome farm animals would live in. Creative mode red here with another segment of showcasing the building blocks we're using for our warm biome animal barn. Now it's no surprise since we were collecting up acacia wood that we will be using acacia, and we are going to be using the yellow terracotta as well as some of these spruce variants. These are honestly going to be our main 3 colors that we are going to use for our resources, and then we are going to be decorating with some of the green acacia leaves specifically because it has a specific type of green hue that I think works really well with the warm biome colors. And since you know the color scheme now, let's get back into our world and start building. All right, I'm gonna start laying out where our barn is gonna go, and I do want it to be pretty close to our starter house, and so we're gonna go 13 across. We have 1, then we're going in by 1 block, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then another block, so this is 13 in total, and we're repeating the same process, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and there we go. And repeat the same process down this back area. Once we put our torches back down so no mobs get to us. And we just fill in the wall. There we go. Perfect. And then in our corners, we are going to go up by 1, 2, 3, 4. And repeat this all the way around. We're also going to be leaving a 1, 2, 3 space in between all of our pillars, and then we are going to place another spruce pillar. Then these 3 right here are actually going to be our entrance inside the barn with another one of our spruce pillars right here. And then we are just going to go up by 4 with these as well. And then we are going to bring our walls up as well by 4. And then this is going to be a window right here. So I'm actually going to go like that. There we go. And then fill this in so that we have a 2 tall window. And then we're just going to replicate this on the other side. And of course, really quick, we need to take a moment to admire all of the fireflies and the ambient sounds that come with them again. This is like my favorite thing. Just like sitting here at night with our lovely little fireflies. Oh, I love this so much. But we can't get too distracted. We must finish building up our walls. Now we are also going to be using spruce for our roof trim, so I'm just going to go out by 2 right here, and then I'm going to temporarily place a block right here because we are going to bring a spruce beam all the way across. Then we're also adding 2 spruce logs right here that are stripped so that it looks like we have some logs jutting out to build up our animal barn. And then what we're gonna do is have spruce be our roof trim, and then we're gonna fill it in with some acacia. So let's just pillar up here with some dirt and start working on filling in our roof trim. We'll do an upside down stair, and then we are going to do some slabs like so. We'll add another slab and then a full block and do a full block row. We'll do another slab like so, and then we will go up again with another set of slabs like this. And just to give you an idea, this is how it's looking so far before we add the spruce trim in there. It is going to be a little bit of an arched roof, but I do want to have some of the full blocks kind of creating like a arch that juts up and then another arch all the way until the middle. But let's make us some more slabs since we have run out. Days 42 to 44 we spent working on our roof and roof trim, placing blocks and removing some and replacing them in the correct spots till we finally had our barn roof completed. After that we moved on to adding in some decorations to the walls of the barn, filling in the walls with yellow terracotta and getting our barn door in place. We then decided to add some lean-tos onto the sides of the barn. Since we had been building in the rain, we thought it would be good if the animals could avoid the rain when they still wanted to be out and getting some fresh air. From there, it was adding in some more additional details, like some more open areas for the animals to move to and from the barn, and adding some lanterns. All right, here is the progress update on our barn. I think it is looking really cute and I'm really happy with it so far. The other thing that I wanted to add is just some additional details, and some of those involve us going and grabbing some sand. We'll add some acacia buttons for some contrast on these logs here, but I want to finally use the cactus that we got, and I want to plant some cactus in front of our windows here and another one above this trapdoor. So we need to go and grab some sand and some clay so that we can add some pots and some more fun little decorative bits. But on the sides here, we have 2 pens that our animals can go out and get some fresh air. Of course, I did decide to give them an awning so that if it's raining, they don't get wet. On the inside here, we just have a very open concept ceiling. I'm probably gonna fill this in and make this look a little bit more decorative. But then on the inside, we've just got an interior spot where they can just avoid all of the rain and be inside all cozy. I'm thinking we'll put the cows on this side because they're much larger, and we can also put some pigs and chickens on this side, and they can split it since they're smaller. Their hitboxes can easily come in and out of here. We also might add some sheep into here and like dye their wool, some like oranges and reds and yellows and browns to kind of fit the vibe of the more warm biome. So I'm kind of thinking that that's what we'll go do. But first, let's drop off some of these resources in our chest here, grab some food because I only have 1 piece of cooked pork chop left. And then we are gonna go and grab some sand and some clay to keep on decorating. I also wanna grab gravel so that we can add some coarse dirt into the little pens for our animals. So let's just, oh, here we go. Grab some gravel, some sand, and some clay. All right, we got our clay, we got our sand, and we got our gravel, so we're gonna head home. It is dark, so I'm a little bit concerned that things are going to try to get us. It's nighttime, and I'm a little concerned that I could get hurt. But I'm gonna boat off the edge to avoid the mobs and fall damage. Yeah. Okay, that was probably a bad idea considering there could have been creepers under there and I was just willy-nilly dropping down. But we're gonna put sand here, we're gonna put some sand right here, and then I'm also going to place some sand up here. And because there's a trap door, you're actually not going to have the sand falling down, and with the trap door in front of it, you also won't be able to see the sand, and it kind of just hides it, so we can have our cactus growing. So let's just start with one, and then I am going to work towards getting the cactus flowers to grow as well. But for now, we'll just let this grow up a little bit taller, and let's go smelt up all of our clay. We'll also grab our dirt and make some coarse dirt so that we can fill in the inside of our pens. And then we'll probably move our animals in once the coarse dirt is in place, just to make sure they don't fall through the floors. So with the coarse dirt now in place, from days 44 to 45, we started adding some pots and dead bushes to the front for decorations, and adding a mix of the firefly bushes, dry grass, and dead grass to the front and interior of the animal pens. All right, with a little bit more decor to the front and to the inside of our pens, I think this is looking really good so far. This roof still needs to be fixed, but I'm going to chop some spruce to help with that. And I also think that I want to have some little roof bits, some little dormers, some little windows popping up and out, and to kind of fill them with some hay, like there's a little hay loft above there. I'm also waiting for this cactus to grow at least 2 tall so that I can distribute these and start growing some more cactus, because so far we only made a cactus flower grow on top. But for now, let's get some more spruce dropped and then start adding our little hay loft to the side of our roof. So from days 45 to 47, we worked away adding some cozy little roof dormers to both sides of the barn's roof, using our yellow terracotta for the walls and spruce slabs for the little dormer roofs. We then decorated around them with some hay bales, lanterns, pots, dead bushes, acacia leaves, and some acacia trapdoors. All right, I finished decorating our little dormers sticking out of our roof on both sides, and now I'm kind of just adding in some trapdoors for some decoration, some texture. But if I get a little bit closer, I can show you how we have the same thing on both sides. We have some acacia leaves just across the top, but here's the other side. I just mirrored them on both sides, so we have 4 dormers in total. Also, I just finally got enough cactus for all 3 of our spots, so we'll add 1 cactus there and our final cactus at the top. Now, all we need to do is wait until we get those cactus flowers spawning, and I think it'll look really cute. We do have 2 of them, so what I'll do actually for now is just place the cactus flower on top so that these bottom ones don't grow any taller. But look at that! This is exactly what I was envisioning for the front of our animal barn for our warm biome farm animals. I think this is super cute, and why do we have a bat? I did decide to just have a combination of acacia stairs and trapdoors in here, and I think this looks really cool. I don't know why you're in here, but I think for now, we've got this pretty much done, so let's bring in our animals. Now, I think I want to start with our little cows. I've got 4 of them, so we'll just bring them in this way. And I think we'll just open up some of our fences, just make some room for them all to come in this way. Except they're all getting distracted. Hello? Follow me, come into your new home. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get you guys out of the rain. And there's our cows. Oh, they look so cute in here. Yay. And I actually do really want to breed these ones up because I want a baby version to see what those look like. Look at you. You're so cute. Oh my gosh, the baby. Hang on. I can't even see you. The adults are just crowding. Look how cute it is with those little horns. I mean, they look giant for the baby, but they're so cute. I love it. All right, let's get our little chickens next. And we'll have these guys all be on the exact same side. So let's just get these guys. There we go. Hello, buddies. Follow me, everybody. There we go. Come here. No. Piggy. Piggy, I've got a potato. I've got a potato. Thank you. Thank you so much. Look at you guys. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I love this. We do need to breed up our armadillos, but I don't have spider's eyes, so I think what we'll do is we'll just grab our leads, and the thought that I have is actually just having 1 armadillo in each side. So if I put this guy on a lead, yes, come this way, little guy. Come here, sweetie. Come here, sweetums. In you go. Yay! Look at you! Oh, this actually looks so cool for being in a warm biome, like deserty area. I think this is perfect. Okay, now I also just realized I need to get myself out of here. All right, we've got our other armadillo on this side. The last of the cactus flowers also grew, and look at this picture. This is incredible. I love how our warm biome animal barn turned out. The little roof dormers are just the cutest thing. The pops of green from the acacia leaves, I'm obsessed. This is adorable. Next thing we're gonna do is clean up our area from our building and move all of our supplies back into our house, and then we are going to get ready to go on another adventure, this time looking for all of the cold biome farm animals. All right, it is day 48 and it is time to go adventuring. However, there is one block that I want to build my cold barn out of that we need to get silk touch for. And I'm pretty sure I remember seeing a village over this way. So we are going on quite the excursion to get ourselves a silk touch book, reroll villagers until we get one of those, and then grab a bunch of resources to get our cold biome buddies and get some resource blocks for building their nice little barn. So we took a peaceful boat ride across the different biomes until we found a village and started rolling a villager until we finally got silk touch. Okay, and it only took us maybe like 9 minutes in total, and we have silk touch for 12. I can't even buy a bookshelf, so we do need to do a little bit of work in order to be able to get this enchant on this book here. Let's see, if I put a boat here and I click on the boat, I'm out of the pit. And I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to grab some gravel and make ourselves a Fletcher to trade some sticks and get the rest of our emeralds. And we found some gravel right here on the shore. I just need 2 pieces of flint and then we should be good. There we go. Okay, now let's make a fletching table and make us a Fletcher. We then spent the next bit of time running over to the nearby jungle to chop down some jungle trees so that we could have enough sticks to get our 12 emeralds and get us our silk touch book. With sticks in hand, we were back in our pit trading sticks with the Fletcher so that we could get more emeralds. All right, we have more than enough to get ourselves a silk touch book. Oh, this feels so good, and it is time to sleep. All right, now that we have our silk touch book, it is time to continue our adventure off to find the supplies we'll need to make our cold biome animal barn, and we are also gonna go and find our new barn animals. Once I get a little extra iron, I'm sorry, Mr. Golem, I do apologize. All right, now that we got a few extra pieces of iron, we're quickly gonna make a stop back at home so that we can combine all of our irons so that we can make an anvil. And I just saw more of the firefly bushes, so of course I need them all. Once at home, we crafted an anvil and put the silk touch book on a pickaxe, and then we were off on our adventure into the cold biomes. And there we go, we have our first enchanted tool of the video, and it is a silk touch to go mine us up a bunch of ice for the cold biome barn. And I did want to mention that we are officially on day 50. We are at the halfway point, and I actually think we are making really good progress. We're getting lots of cute little builds made, and we're about to go off and get our final of the 3 sets of all of the animals that we're going to be needing. And with our silk touch tool in hand, it's time to go off on our adventure. So we leapt into our adventure on day 50, coming across the updated birch forests with the new wildflowers in them. So of course we picked up some of those before we continued exploring till we finally found an icy mountain to stop and collect some ice from. We then took in the views from the mountaintops before we continued looking for our cold farm animals. So we trekked through biome after biome and continued across even more biomes. Whoa, wait a minute. Ooh, a pale oak forest. This would be cool for our winter barn. Being able to use the pale oak wood, the white wood. Ooh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, we are having a pit stop and coming into the pale garden. Look how cool it is. Oh, I'm excited. Okay, let's take a little break here and chop some pale oak. Now, as I've been chopping down this pale oak wood, guys, I just realized we made the biggest mistake ever. I didn't bring any potatoes or carrots in order to get the pigs. I'm literally so upset at myself. So now we have to figure out a different way to creatively lead our little buddies. I at least need 2 of them. My thoughts right now are that because I do have hay bales with me and we can just get seeds from just punching grass, we'll try our best to put 2 of the pigs inside a boat and see how well that works to lead them. It will be a little bit dicey and frustrating and long just because we are going through so many different biomes to get back home. But let's just see how that goes. I also just need 1 more sapling to drop until we have 8, and there we go. Okay, perfect. Now let's continue on our adventure. From there, we continued going through even more biomes, coming across a dark oak forest as well, until finally we could see the taiga biome we were looking for. All right, guys, there it is. This is what we have been journeying to find. Also, hang on. Whoa, look at the leaf litter being all desaturated. Oh my goodness. So if I like pick these up, whoa, wait a second. Leaf litter gets desaturated inside a pale forest? Oh, yo, I didn't know that was part of the mechanic. That is actually so cool. I had no idea this was a thing. That is so fun. What the heck? I love that. But let's not get distracted. Let's go find our chickens, our pigs, and our cows of the cold biome. All right, I'm quickly stopping to try to get some azalea bushes so that we can bring those back to decorate with and to put in our houses. And I'm going to sleep so that no creepers come and find me. All right, I've got some wheat set aside, and then we're also just gonna look for some grass to punch so that we can hopefully get some seeds for the chickens that way. But we just need to keep our eyes open, keep our ears open in case we hear any of our little farm animal sounds. And while we're here, I'm gonna collect up a bunch of coarse dirt because I do want all of our barns to have a good amount of the coarse dirt mixed in with the floor so that it looks like the barns are very worn down. Just have it look a little bit more like it's been lived in for a while and we've had our animals just enjoying life there for a while. So let's just make ourselves a new shovel and collect up a bit more coarse dirt before we continue looking for our animals. So with our wheat and seeds in hand, we began exploring the biome looking to see if we could find any of our farm animals. Oh, wait, I see chicken. I see chicken egg. I see chicken. I see egg. Hi, buddy. Look at you. Look at your little hairdo. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to find just a few more of you. We'll keep your egg nice and safe in my bundles for now, but let's see if we can... Oh, and you're right by... Oh, and there's the cows. Oh my gosh. Where'd you go, chicken? Chicky? Okay, there you are. Okay, come this way. Now we also need to see if we can find the piggies. That is the next thing. Since I did spot some of the cows, the little fuzzy cows, we need to find the pigs. And the pigs are going to be the ones that are going to be a little bit more challenging since I don't have carrots and potatoes on me because I forgot, like, an absolute Minecraft pro. And when I say the pigs would be the most challenging to find, I had no idea just how long I was about to be looking for those fuzzy little guys. Wait, look! We found a cow! Where'd you come from, buddy? Hi! Yes, come this way. I saw more of your friends over here, so we're just gonna go meet up with them. Okay, I'm getting chased by a skelly. Okay, let's just go to the beach and sleep quickly. Hopefully I won't get attacked. The morning of day 54, we took care of the skeleton that was bothering us the night before, and we went back looking for our little friends. All right, we've got 2 cows and 2 chickens. Now we need to go and find where our little piggy friends are. Here, piggies. Here, piggies. I've got some leads for you. Here, piggies. All right, if I were a cold, fuzzy piggy, where would I hide in the forest? And as we looked for the pigs, we grabbed some sweet berries, found the OG pale wolf, saw some foxes, and even tried to get a higher vantage point, but still couldn't see any cold pigs. We did come across a temperate one though, and some sheep. We then sheared some sheep to make a bed since we had forgotten ours over by the chickens and cows, which led us into the next morning where we were still on the piggy hunt. Ooh, there's a village over there. Maybe we can find some potatoes and that will help kind of lure the pigs over to me. I think that's what I want to try doing. Let's go over to this little village, get some potatoes hopefully, and get back to looking for our little pig friends. All right, there's our farmer villager. Let's see, potatoes. Oh, carrots will work. We'll take some carrots. That works just fine for our little pigs. So with our newly acquired carrots, we went back into the spruce biome looking for some pigs. And after spending an eternity looking for the pigs, we finally found some. Oh my gosh. Hello, gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's only one of you though. I need two. Do you spawn in pairs of like 2 or 3? Do you spawn in like pig packs or something? Oh my gosh. Okay. My soul was literally dying. We've spent so many days in this forest. Look. Oh my gosh. Come this way. Come this way. We found a second one. Oh my gosh. We can leave. We can finally leave. Oh my word. We can leave with our invisible leads. Oh. You guys have no idea how long it took to find you guys. My gosh. Okay, let's go grab our other animals, grab our boats, and get the heck back to our little farm. And there's our other friends. Looky here, cows and chickens. We've got piggies. All right, now we have to get all of our little friends into boats, and we are going home. There we go, pop in there. And the evening of day 56, we went to bed, ready to start our long journey home the next morning. All right, I'm just recognizing that we have a dilemma. I'm not gonna be able to get all of these animals home in one little group. So here is my thought. I have a bunch of these eggs, and if I'm lucky, we will be able to spawn some of these chickens in our base area, and since they'll be blue eggs, I'm hoping that we won't need to come back for the chickens, but we'll see if I'm incorrect in this. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the chickens into one boat, move our cows into another boat, and we are going to risk only bringing back our pigs and our cows, and hopefully we will get some eggs spawning. It is very likely that this is not the case and we will have to come back for just chickens, but for now, this is the best thing I can think of for just having 2 leads. Bye chickens, I promise I'll come back for you. Maybe, if I get lucky with the eggs, probably not. So with our pigs and cows, we boated across many rivers, across many biomes, and we got our cold biome animals. Oh my gosh, we are literally almost on to day 60 by the time we got this done, but this is a huge win. Now the only issue is, do we have enough of the chicken eggs to spawn all the chickens we need? We might have to go back to get 2. Come on, I just need 2. Okay, we got 1. I honestly might just be happy with 1 because that's better than none. But what's nice that we at least have 1 chicken. We actually don't need to go back for those chickens because once this little guy grows up, they'll hatch some eggs and we'll just slowly collect enough eggs until they finally give us enough eggs that we can hatch and have at least 2 chickies. Then we can breed those up and we'll be good. So honestly, 1 little egg, 1 little chicken is all we need. Now it is time to go to bed. All right, we are officially on day 60 and we finally get to start working on the animal barn for our cold critters. So I think because we have the warm barn on this side that we are going to put the cold barn on this side. So For now, we'll just add a chest right here. We'll put a bunch of our ice in there. We're going to be using the pale oak, but there will be some other blocks we need to go collect resources for, so let me go show you the color and build palette for the cold barn. Alright, so the color palette that we are going to be using, you can already tell in my hotbar, is going to be involving snow, the packed ice, and some stripped oak wood, as well as white wool and some diorite. Now on our adventures, we didn't collect up a bunch of snow, but there are some snowy peaks nearby, the cherry forest that we are going to go and collect some snow from. Then there's also the oak that we're going to be using since we had a bunch of oak from tearing down all of our forest, and we're going to use some blue ice. We're also going to be using some diorite for part of our wall texture, and I would like to be able to go into the Nether and grab some soul lanterns because I think they will look the best. But honestly, there's a very strong chance that by the time we get this barn done, I'm not gonna want to go and find some diamonds to then get enough obsidian to then yeah, just go into the Nether. But even without the lanterns, I'm really happy with how this block palette works. These are going to be the pillars. This is going to be the roof, and this is going to be the second tier filling in the sides of the build. This is going to be for the fence, and for our roof trim, we are going to be using some polished andesite next to our blue ice. So I think these two next to each other, along with the diorite, is a really nice light colored build to perfectly represent a tundra barn. Now let's go back and start building. Now, as far as the amount of oak wood we definitely have more than enough, so I think I'm just going to grab 3 stacks. I want one of them to be a strip stack. We'll also grab these oak planks as well. Now, the other block that we are going to need to collect more of is we don't really have a lot of white wool, and we're going to use this on our walls to texture them. So we will definitely use our shears to grab more of that, but we also need to collect some polished andesite. So we do have a whole stack and 8. So I think what we'll do is we will go to our stone cutter and see how much we get from this. And I think for the full blocks, I'll probably grab about 20 to start, and the rest of it will be a mixture of slabs and stairs of the polished type. Now we'll quickly drop these off inside our chest, and then I think we will need to go and collect some more diorite, so we are gonna go down into our little mining area to see what we can find for that. Alright, we've got a little patch of diorite right here, so luckily we don't need to go too far from our ladder, which is actually super convenient because I don't really want to go further into these caves, but let's collect up, say, a stack of diorite. I think that should be good. Alright, we've got our diorite, we've got our andesite, the pale oak, ice, oak, we've got some coarse dirt, some extra andesite, and we've got our wool. I think it's just time to now go and collect some snow, and then we can actually start building our final barn for our final group of little animals. So we once again scaled up our hillside, got distracted once again by more decorative bushes that we found, and day 61, we spent the day just collecting up all of the snow that we would need for the walls of our cold animal barn. Alright, we got more than enough with 3 stacks and 16, so let's go head back home and start working on our cold animal barn. Now, I just remembered before we can start building, we also have to do a bit of terraforming because where I want to build this, there is still kind of a large part that I didn't terraform, and I kind of just, was gonna leave that to future red, so future red is now present red, so let's do some terraforming, shall we? So from day 61 to 62, we were chopping trees, collecting leaves, and placing down some dirt, more dirt, and even some more dirt, till finally the ground was ready to build on. And on the evening of day 62, we finally have enough space cleared out and terraformed and flattened so that we can start building our cold barn. You can just ignore the drop off of our just 1 layer of dirt that we left because frankly, I'll just deal with that later. It will be yet again a future red problem. But before we start building, let's go to sleep and start a fresh day. All right, it is day 63, and we are just gonna collect up a bit of wool for our texturing of our walls. And I'm gonna quickly add a piece of carpet here because looky, our chicken grew, and we can start collecting up the blue eggs, which means that hopefully we will eventually get a second chicken and then have a few more to add into the barn by the time we're done building it. So I'm really glad that we were able to at least get one, but look at their little hairdo. Oh my gosh, the cold chicken is definitely the coolest because they have the coolest hairdo for sure. But enough getting distracted, let's get building. From days 63 to 70, we worked away building up the cold barn. I really like using the snow for part of the block palette since I have to imagine that the snow is giving off some nice cold air, kind of like when you first open the freezer door and the cold air comes spilling out. I'd like to think that the snowy walls are doing the same thing and making our cold animals feel right at home. With our walls completed, we moved on to adding in the roof, which in my mind the ice would also give off some of that nice cooling feeling as they go inside the barn, so they really can feel like they're truly in a tundra biome. Once our ice roof was in, we added on our polish andesite trim, alternating slabs, full blocks, and a few stairs. Okay, here's what we have so far. We've got our oak pillars in place. This is going to be a spot for a roof dormer, kind of like second window. And so we are going to remove a bit of this ice so that we can add in the window. And we're also going to be removing and making a replica of this little dormer second tier roof little opening where we'll have another window so you'll be able to see all the way through to the back, and then we'll put a bit of hay in there and some decorations. On the side here, we're gonna have a tiny little fence, and we're going to use some of the diorite and the pale oak to create a little bit of an outdoor pen. And since there's a lot more space on this side, we're going to kind of terraform this, push this little mountainside a bit back so that we can have a larger pen here, and we'll bring this over and make it come all the way to this post right here so that we have a larger pen for the larger animals. And we've already started adding in a bunch of the polished andesite, but I have run out. So we're going back down into the mines and into our little digging area for the stones and gonna collect some more andesite real quick. What? We got 4 chicks out of 1 egg? Okay, someone has to tell me in the comments how rare that is. And I can't believe I actually got it on camera. Actually, that did happen over to our warm chickens over here, but I just wasn't recording it. And I was in shock, but we had a bunch of, we had 4 chicks come out of 1 of the eggs. So that has literally happened to me twice. But now that we've gotten more of our andesite, we're gonna quickly use our stone cutter and continue building. With the remaining roof trim completed, we moved on to building up the second level, which is going to mainly be used for storage for the barn. We then used some snow to fill up the roof enough to match the roof trim, and we used some snow blocks as well to fill it all in. From there, we moved on to adding some trapdoors for decoration and filling in our floor with some coarse dirt, ice, and snow blocks to the ground to add some texture. We then started laying down our fencing to keep our animals in using a combination of our diorite walls and some pale fence gates all the way around, and I really liked how it turned out. And after some decorating and placing snow and grass, firefly bushes, the dried grass, this is our completed cold barn, and I think this is adorable. Now we are able to go in between all of the fences because of using fence gates, and I think it makes the diorite wall look really good. I am so glad we found the pale oak for us. It's seriously such a good addition to this area for the cold biome colors. So we've just got lots of little snow piles to make all of our snowy animals feel at home. If they want to get out of the sun or the rain, they are able to come in here and they can kind of mingle amongst each other. So we can have all of them together, able to be running around, having fun. But then we just have this area where we can have some windows on the inside to make it a little bit more bright in here. We'll also add some lanterns once we replace our torches, and we have barrels for extra storage for things, and a little bit of hay, and some snow just kind of falling on the roof bits a little bit. But this is so cute. I love this so much. And if I take a further step back, then it even looks cooler because you see our starter house windmill, you see a cold barn, and then you can clearly tell this is a warm barn. And I absolutely love it. Also, our chickens are giving us so many eggs. But we've got our cold barn completed. We've got our warm barn completed. The only barn we have left to do is the one for all of our little temperate friends behind me. And I think we'll just do a pretty classic barn for these guys. But without further ado, let's grab some leads and bring over these little friends now. And real quick, before I go to sleep, I wanted to show you guys the firefly bushes around the cold barn. And I think this is so cute. I love the fireflies. I just can't get over them. Like this ambience that we have throughout all of our builds, all of the fireflies. I love it so much, just seeing them at night. It just adds so much to this area. Now, another thing that we're going to need to solve is my constant hunger and lack of food. Right now, I'm kind of just eating whatever random things that I have in my kitchen storage, but we are going to need to create some crop fields to not only feed our little friends, but to also feed ourselves. And now that we've got these barns in place, I think it helps me have a better idea of where I want to put the little square crop fields like what I had in my picture. But let's find where I put some leads and bring our new friends over real quick. We'll grab wheat, we'll grab potato and seeds. All right, friends, come this way. Right down this little barn entrance into your new home. There we go. The cows got it. The pigs got it. We got everybody. Look at that. Yay. Okay. So piggies, we'll give you two and you two. There we go. And look at that. We got a baby fuzzy cold pig and a baby fuzzy little guy there. And I also just realized I think they can escape. Okay, they just escape into the outdoor pen. But look at these guys. Yay. Okay, now we just lure our chickens over. And the chickens should be relatively easy. We're literally just moving our little posse over with some seeds. There we go. Look at you guys. I love their hairdos. I can't get over it. Oh, they're so cool. Comment below. I'm very curious. What is your favorite of the cold biome critters they added? And what is your favorite of the warm biome critters that they added? All right, I think they can fit in. There we go. We've got them all. And we can just breed up some of you guys. We'll remove the seeds. Oh no, wait. Oh no, I forgot about these windows. Oh no, we've got some escapees. Okay, one sec. Gotta go get more wheat and solve that dilemma. I think while we're in here, we're also grabbing glass so that we don't have to deal with that problem anymore. And then we'll make our friend follow us. Yes, there we go. Okay, we got one cow. Let me check. We've got 2 cow and baby cow. Okay, we got everyone again. We're good. And then we'll add in our windows like so. And I ran out of an axe, so we're punching fences by hand. There we go. All right, now we've got some light and these guys aren't going to be able to get out. And we've got our windows all put in place. Okay, look at this. All of our cold biome critters are in their house now. I love this so much. And I really love just how I've decided to make all of the barns reflect the animals themselves with the icy, cold, snowy barn for the snowy animals. And we've got our cactus, sandy, dry barn for all of our warm critters. I especially love how we have the little armadillos hanging out with all of the warm animals. I think it is super cute. And now that the cold barn is done and the warm barn is done, I kind of want to change up the pace and start getting some crop fields in place. So what we're gonna do is start marking out where we want our wheat fields to go, our carrot fields, potatoes, all of our different crop fields, just so that we can get a solid source of food, because once again, I'm low on food and I am unable to run because of it. I may be figuring this out on day 71, but it's fine. You know, I'd rather have all of the animals here first. So what we're gonna do is we've got some seeds, we've got beetroot seeds and carrot seeds and potatoes. Well, carrots, not carrot seeds. But for now, let's take our seeds and we'll put away everything else that we've got. We'll also grab probably 2 hoes, I think would be good. And then we'll be able to start working on creating all of our lovely little crop fields. Another thing we will need to have is an infinite water source, which we currently don't have. So we need to go and get some more water to create an infinite water source so that it's easier to make our crop fields. So once again, we're going to climb up our cliff, over the other side, grab some water, and start working on our crop fields. And since it is night, we are going to also sleep so no mobs come after us while we're getting our water. All right, we're gonna quickly run down and grab our water. Then we are going to make a quick pit stop back at home before we head over to the cherry forest because I just remembered that because we have Silk Touch, oh, we got some friends coming to say hi. With Silk Touch, we are able to pick up some bee nests, which it would be pretty fun if we had some little bee friends hanging out with us, pollinating all of our crops and making them grow faster so that we can get the fields fully filled out much quicker. So we're definitely gonna do that. All right, now that our infinite water source is complete, we are gonna grab our Silk Touch pickaxe. And before we go to get our bees, we are going to make our Silk Touch pickaxe a little bit more repaired so that we don't have issues with it breaking on us. And back up the mountainside we go. I think with these water buckets I'm carrying with me now, I'm just gonna make a stream of water that we can at least swim up because this just gets old real quick. All right, and let's just have a water stream start here, and it shouldn't end up getting in the way of any of the stuff I'm building. But look at this from further away. It looks so cool to see the warm barn and the windmill in the middle with the cold barn on the other side. I'm obsessed. And it looks like this will help us quite a bit going forward. So I'm glad I finally did that. It just took us till day 72 to think of that idea and finally do it. So, you know, it's fine. It is what it is. And we will gladly use it for the rest of the 100 days now. But I'm hoping we'll at least see some beehives amongst these trees. Hopefully. Ooh, I see a bee. I don't know how on earth the bee is that far away or where his hive is, but I saw a bee, so we are going to track down the bee, follow him, and get their little hive. Oh, there's a bunch of you. Okay, there's at least 2. Now, where is your hive around here, guys? You want to show me where your hive is? I found another one of the fallen logs with a mushroom, but I haven't found the bee hive yet, so I'm a little bit confused. Oh, wait! Oh, yay! We found it. Okay. Iron pickaxe, Silk Touch. Total bee location. Move a bee nest with 3 bees. Oh, this is wonderful. We've got 3 in here. Oh, yay. Okay, and we're gonna sleep. We're gonna sleep away the night as well. I am so happy we got 3 bees in here and it's ready to get sheared, get all the honey out of it. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, let's get back home. And we've got our water stream coming right down the edge here, which is perfect. There we go, safe and back at our base. Love it. All right, now we are going to create our paths that will set the stage for where our crop fields are going to be placed. Now, I'm thinking that we will have a path leading directly from our house and going straight into the more or less center of town. So I think we'll just create a line out here like so. Now, I had created some curved paths over here, but I kind of think it would be nice if we kind of just made the paths more of a right angle because then we can put a little crop field in here full of wheat. So what I think we'll do next is from our main path here, I think if we just create a path that goes out to here, and then let's just put a block right here so we kind of know where the path turns and goes straight, and we'll have it be 3 wide like so. And even though we have enough iron to make another shovel, I'm gonna use stone going forward because we're literally just path blocking. There we go, much better. I don't feel like I'm wasting my iron now. I'm also going to cover up all of the path block that I did have here just to create that right angle, and we'll go ahead and scoop all this up now. There we go. We've got our right angle going over to the barn, and then we will add in our crop fields right here. So I'm just... Oh, wait, hang on. We've got a problem there, Houston. 1 second. There we go. And then come back up. There. And then we won't have the water going everywhere too crazy. And we'll place a slab on top so that I can put a lantern over here. Then we'll just till up the land all around that. We'll also place a torch there so I can move this one. And then we can start planting a bunch of our wheat. We don't have much for starters, but it is something, and we can just let that grow, and hopefully our crop fields won't take too long. And we're also going to extend the path over here, and I want the path to be pretty even. There we go. So then if I start scooping up and creating some path blocks right here, this should be even. Perfect. And this is making it even. And then we'll add in a little slab there, but we'll add some dirt underneath. There we go. And we add our slab. Get this land all tilled up as well. And we're going to be doing the same process over and over again, so enjoy the montage. Days 73 to 74, we spent some time relaxing with some YouTube videos on in the background while we worked away tilling up all of the soil, getting enough of the water sources in, and we created 4 different crop fields that we'd be placing carrots, wheat, potatoes, and even beetroot in. We also placed down our beehives so that the bees could help our crops grow even quicker to allow us to expand our crop fields even further. All right, we've got the first of our 4 crop fields all set up, and I have some squares that are going to be 10 by 10 filled in right here. And then we are just going to continue to have kind of these like squares of our crops, just so that it kind of looks like that more symmetrical farm fields kind of a vibe. You can tell by my inventory, I want to add some oak leaves and fences along the exterior of these little bits. So we're just going to spend some time adding some oak leaf kind of fence perimeters for our new little crop fields. All right, I'm deciding that I'm going to remove the leaves from around where we have all of our little crop fields, just because I do think that it makes it more difficult to be able to see the crops themselves. And I do want that to be a main focus because this is a farm after all. So we are just going to clean up all the leaves and add in some more oak fences in place of the leaves. With all of our fences placed down, we spent some time harvesting our crops so that we could finish out filling in the crop fields. All right, the next thing that I want to set up are some sugarcane collection planter boxes. And I'm thinking that on the other side of our little farm fields with all of our crops, we'll add some more paths. And I'm thinking we'll make these also be 3 wide. So we'll go like so. 3 wide, and then we'll come right here. And then what I'm thinking we'll do is we'll have the sugarcane be growing right here on the sides. There we go. And then we'll put 3 right here. And then we'll fill this in. But we do need to make sure that there's water running along the side. So this part right here is what we'll scoop out so that we can make room for some water. And luckily I've got my 2 water buckets. So we will make this an infinite water source, just like so. There we go. And then we'll just plant the sugarcane that we have right here. And then I think what would be kind of fun is if we were able to have this grow so that we could maybe put another one right here, just so that they're mirrored. I think that could look really cute. think another thing that will make it look a little bit more formalized is if we put some more fencing up. There we go. And then we just need to get this one last corner here. There we go. 3 more pieces. And I'm kind of thinking we'll create some awnings like so. And I kind of want them to be a little bit higher. So we'll go up 4. And then I think what will look better than just having the fences is if we use fence gates. So let's bring these all the way across and put that there. Perfect. There we go. And I think so that we can hang a lantern, we will put a fence post, and then we'll hang a lantern and replicate the same thing on the other side. All right, I'm working on the other side here to create a platform for us to have some tomatoes, which they are technically rose bushes, but it's the closest thing. We got 2 tomato plants, and I think it looks really cute. So we're just rolling with it using our imagination, and I think it'll look really cute. So we're just filling this in, and then we're adding in our tomato plants. We're gonna kind of keep them pretty spaced out since I don't have a lot right now, but I do have some bone meal, so that can kind of help us fill them in. But let's just add a few in the middle here to kind of fill it all in. We'll get a few more with this. There we go. And then I might leave this middle lane open so that we're able to come through and actually like harvest all of the tomatoes. So we'll leave this like so. Then we'll add our fencing in so that we have a nice perimeter to hold us in place so we don't fall off the platform. There we go. And we are gonna mirror this exact same idea with the lanterns that we have. And we have 6 lanterns, so we definitely have enough. But I also kind of want to incorporate some of these leaves. Like so, just a few of them, nothing too crazy. Let me just see how that looks. Do I like this? No. We're changing our mind. I don't want that there. What we could do is a more strategic pattern. So we'd need more than just those ones. And then it's kind of like a hanging vine bush in between it all. I think that could actually look a lot cuter. And then I think I want to use these oak trap doors to create kind of like a lattice. I think that would look kind of cute if we just had like a lattice like this on all of the sides. So I think what I'll do is I'll just work on getting this all put together. We'll just grab a bunch more of these trapdoors. I'm actually gonna move where the trapdoors are placed so that it's above this. So it looks more like it's sitting on top like so. And look at that. This is super cute. I really like this idea of just having some cute little plants hanging down from the ceiling. I really think that's adorable. I think we're definitely going to do the same thing on this side with the lattice roof. So let's just get this all in place. So the rest of day 78, we spent time placing the fence posts, leaves, and trapdoors to create our lattice roof overhang above our sugarcane field before we went to bed for the night. All right, it is day 79, and I think that our little farm is coming along so well. The potatoes are finally growing so we can expand our fields. The beetroot is expanding as well. We're getting all of our crops all filled in. Now, the last barn that we need to make is the one for our temperate animals. And as I've been farming the crops, I have been thinking about how I want this little temperate barn to look, and I think we are going to take a trip back into the Badlands biome to get up a bunch of the red terracotta because I think I really like the idea of having a very classic red and white barn, and I think I want to put it right here, which also means filling in this hole that I've been kind of ignoring this whole time. But we're gonna, just fill it in, fill it over, terraform it, make it look nice. And then we are going to expand our path from right here leading all the way up to where we're gonna have our red barn. So since we are getting closer to the end of this video and these 100 days, it is time to go off on another adventure for some new resources for the temperate barn. And instead of climbing up, I'm gonna try using our little water stream to get ourselves up here. It's a little bit more direct, even though it is a little chaotic, but I'm kind of okay with that. Like, look at this. This is definitely way faster. Yes. Way faster. Look at this. We're already at the top. And since you guys have already seen the journey over to our mesa biome, I decided to skip all of that and get right to collecting up the red terracotta until our pickaxe broke. All right, we've got 6 stacks and 17 of our red terracotta. Now let's go back home, chop some pale wood and some spruce wood and get going. Then, in true red fashion, it didn't take long for us to get distracted on our way back home, collecting up a bunch of sand for glass and coming across a flower forest biome, which we collected up a bunch of different flowers to make our bee friends happy. All right, we made it back, and I am quickly gonna drop off all of our tulips and flowers we were able to pick. I'm also gonna leave this beehive in here for now, and we are going to start working on getting the land terraformed for our lovely little temperate farm animal barn. Now, like I said earlier, we are going to put it down here, so we are going to need to cover over all of this. So let's just get started working on that. And as we go, I am also going to chop down our little pale oak trees just so that we can make progress on getting all the resources that we'll need. But for now, let's add in all of our red terracotta. And we'll chop down these 2 trees so that I can plant some more saplings and those can start growing as we start scooping up some dirt and terraforming and flattening the land to build us a temperate barn. Once we had our 2 pale oak trees chopped, we started once again placing down a bunch of dirt to fill over the space where our temperate barn would go. And since you guys have seen a lot of me placing dirt and terraforming in this video, I'm just skipping all of that and bringing you guys back in right when it's all filled in and ready to build on. All right, we finally got a really large space all flattened and terraformed for us to start building our temperate animal barn. So let's grab our supplies, our terracotta, our nice pale oak wood, and start building us up a temperate barn. So as one does with most builds, we worked on getting our red terracotta walls in place first, and using some stripped spruce beams, we added those to the corners to create some supports. Once the walls were completed, we moved on to getting our pale oak roof trim in place, and we even started adding in the roof with our spruce wood as well. Once all of the roof trim was placed down and we filled in our roof with spruce, we moved on to adding in our silo attached to the back of the barn using our stripped pale oak wood. Once the silo was all built up, we used our leftover polished andesite to add a roof onto our silo to keep all of our crops dry from the rain. We then moved outside to adding in some oak fencing along the barn and pathways until I had the thought to set up a small composting station outside all of our barns for any extra seeds or leaves that we wanted to compost. So using the same oak wood and oak stairs combination, we built out the edging, filled it in with dirt, and set up a classic composter setup. We then added in some little wheelbarrows and some leaves as decorations, and we filled up the decorative composters all the way up so they would actually have some compost in them. From there, I decided I wanted a nice area for all of those flowers we had picked up to be on display, so I made some planter boxes, planted down some tulips, and used spruce trap doors to line the outside. With the remaining tulips that we had, I decided to make a second planter box for the rest of our tulips using mainly the orange and red ones we had left over. I then saw some llamas aggroed onto a zombie, which I'd never seen before, but unfortunately one of the llamas got by the zombies, so of course we had to get rid of them, and I thanked the llama for their assistance. After that, it was time to move over our temperate farm animals, starting with our sheep friends, which we took a mini detour to add some sheep into the warm barn and dye them red and orange to match the warm color tones. We then moved on to bringing our cows over to their new barn, followed by the pigs and the chickens till all of our animals were safely in their new barn. All right, it is time to give you a tour of the temperate barn and everything we were able to do for it. So this is what the exterior looks like. I just lined it with some little of the eye blossom flowers, bunch of leaves. This is what the back of the silo looks like, and we just have some more leaves in the back corner here. I did torch spam just because I didn't want to deal with mobs coming out and attacking me while I'm trying to work with all of my little animals here. But here we have them all. We've got our chickens, pigs, cows, sheep, all of our little temperate friends are in their barn. The interior is pretty simple. We've just got some barrels here and some chests. We've got a crafting table, more barrels, and lots more storage for all of our crops that we will be able to feed our animals from within this silo. But that is essentially all that we have for the temperate barn. This wandering trader is really interested in the barn here. I was able to get one of these fire coral blocks, and you might have noticed in some of the montage time-lapse footage, I did move it over here by our tomatoes to kind of make it seem like this is a barrel of like squished tomatoes, maybe some tomato juice, maybe just like a bucket filled with tomatoes from all of our harvesting on both sides of this. But I think this looks so good. I'm really happy that we were able to find a bunch of those tulips on our adventures, because this looks so pretty outside the barn, and all of the colors, it just looks so good. I'm like so happy, and I do love how all of the crop fields kind of have this squarish vibe to them. I'm really liking how our sugarcane and our tomato fields look, but this is what we have. But there is still so much to do. We next are going to work on creating a little pumpkin and melon little crop field, a little pumpkin patch, a little melon patch. So let's go put away all of our sugarcane, grab our pumpkins, grab our melons, and get to work. We also have some cocoa beans, but I can't remember if I actually managed to grab some. Okay, we do have some jungle wood, so we can definitely get some jungle trees going. There we go, perfect. So we'll just bring our jungle logs with us, and maybe we'll do something with the cocoa beans just so we have every single type of seed in use. Now, as far as where we would put the pumpkin and melon patches, I feel like they would look good on this side, but there is a lot of mess over here still. So I think we'll first take down this tree, we'll take down all of these fences, and then we will be able to kind of see, oh, and my tools are already dead, but then we'll be able to kind of see what we're working with to be able to get the crop field set up for the pumpkins and melons. I'm also out of iron, so we are going back to our beginning stages and using stone tools. We also have a bunch of these llamas, and I'm kind of thinking that we will move some of these llamas into our warm barn and our cool barn. I think I want to take these two, and these will be our warm barn friends, so I'll just let them be hooked up right here for now. We do have this llama that has a nice little blue carpet on them, but I do want to get a different carpet for this one, so let's go grab a different cool color for the cool barn. We've got a cornflower, which can be blue, and then we can just combine these to make a light blue carpet. I think that'll work. We'll just make a light blue one. We're also going to dye one of our sheep probably a light blue, and I think the azure bluettes give us like a light gray, so that will also be a good color tone for our cold sheep. So we'll just put that carpet on this one and bring these two over this way, over to the cold barn. All right, both of our llamas are now inside the cold barn, which is perfect. Then we just gotta move one over here. So if I just grab the leads, we'll take this one. There we go. We've got both of our warm toned llamas in here as well. Now that we got the warm llamas and cold llamas in place, I next want to grab a few sheep. I honestly think if we just grab two, it will be good, but we'll dye you your different colors. There we go. We've got our sheep dyed, our different colors, and now we will lead them to the cold barn. All right, here we go, guys. Welcome to your new home. I hope you enjoy the chilly, kind of a snowy vibes that we got going on here. Enjoy your stay. You've got some new llama friends as well, but hope you stay comfy. All right, now that we've gotten all of our fencing cleared out of the way, we're next going to work on clearing this spruce tree farming platform. So let's just take down this spruce tree and then get rid of this platform, and then we'll start making a pumpkin patch and a melon patch. Alrighty, we've got our spruce platform all cleared away, and we've got a bunch of extra dirt, which is great because I do want to fill this in just so that we have some flat land to work with in order to have our pumpkin patch on. So we'll just get this all cleared. There we go. And shocker, we still have dirt to go and scoop up and to terraform with. So let's just peel some off of some surrounding areas to fill that in. And once again, I do apologize for the amount of dirt scooping and clearing that I've done in this video, but you know, when you need to terraform, you need to terraform. We're going to be removing all of these flowers that were right here, and we're actually going to place the pumpkin and melon patches in these little squares right here. So I'm just kind of gonna match this over to the other path that comes around our tomato plants, and we're just going to fill in these squares with melon patches and pumpkin patches. We're gonna have a pumpkin patch be here since I'll probably be using more pumpkins than melons. We'll put a melon patch here. We'll put another pumpkin patch right here, and you guessed it, the other melon patch is gonna go right here. Or actually, maybe we'll make a little cocoa bean farm be right here, since this is kind of a smaller space than the back. But since it is night, we are going to quickly go to sleep, replace our inventory with everything we'll need for the melon and pumpkin patches, and then we will get to work in the morning. Now for our little pumpkin patch, we're going to have oak fences going all the way around, and then we'll have the ones in the middle be for the fence gates like so. We'll also add in some little water buckets just so that we have all of the melons nicely hydrated so that they will grow. And now we just hoe up all of the ground, and then we will get our melons planted, and hopefully they'll grow relatively quick. We can also speed up the process of our melons growing by grabbing some of the bone meal out of the composter. There we go. This will speed up the process quite a bit. And we already got our first melon. Yay! Okay, now we'll transform these into seeds and repeat the same process. Alright, we're just gonna wait to see how all of these melons grow up, but I think for a cute little melon patch, this will do nicely. And we'll start placing down the pumpkin patch fencing. We'll add in some fence gates and get our water buckets in place. Then we'll just till up the ground and get our pumpkins placed. And we'll grab some bone meal so that we can start getting these all collected up. But one thing that I was thinking about is I do like the idea of having a mix of some other crops in here just to add some variety and just make it kind of look like an overgrown pumpkin patch. So we're just going to add some leaves and such. I think that looks pretty good, just some overgrown vibes. I'm a fan. And we'll also add some overgrown vibes to our melon patch as well. And I know this means that some of the melons and pumpkins might not grow, but I think as long as a lot of them grow, and I'm okay if not all of them are going to grow. And I think this will look really good. But let's take another snooze since it is dark, so we don't have any mobs to deal with, and we'll continue in the morning. All right, with our melon patch done, we've got our pumpkin patch done. I did decide that I do want to have a patch for the cocoa beans, kind of like just like a little wall to farm them. And I also think it would be kind of cool if we did that with glowberries as well. So maybe what we'll do here is, in order to keep the symmetry going, we'll just expand this a little bit further down. And then what we'll do is we'll just make a little kind of like raised platform, and then we can have a little raised platform, one being for glowberries and one being for the cocoa beans. So I think we'll just get to work on that. We'll grab some stripped oak wood, we'll grab some oak stairs, and then we'll just get to work copying pretty much the exact same layout that you have seen many, many a time. And then we'll fill this in with dirt for our glowberry patch. And we'll just test this here. Okay, perfect. They do grow on the trapdoors. That is actually so good to hear. And we'll go probably like 4 high, I think will be good. And do the same thing on all the corners. All right, now that I have the jungle log set up, we're just going to do 2 little rows like this, and we'll have a little spot in between here. We just need a bunch more trapdoors for the top of the lattice roof, and we should be good. As difficult as it was to clear out all of those trees in the beginning, we actually are getting so much use out of all of the resources that we collected to clear space for our little farm area. And I'm actually really happy because if we wouldn't have cleared out all of the different trees, we would have had to go and collect so many resources along the way. But with this, we were just able to bypass that and then just make space for the area that we wanted. And the resources were kind of just the bonus part of it all. And we'll fill in the remaining trapdoors here and we'll be good to go. There we go. All right, we've got a little cocoa bean farming platform and we've got a glowberry platform. I do want to go and grab a bunch of the bone meal to try to make the glowberries grow a little bit quicker, just so that we actually have the glowberries glowing on the vines too. But 4 is not really a lot, so maybe we'll just start putting our leaves in there. Something is definitely better than nothing though, so we'll just go like so, and then we'll add in our glowberries down on this side like so. And the next thing I want to do is clean up some of this mess over here and get rid of these pale oak trees and my little chest monster situation too. Now, another thing I thought would be kind of fun to go do is I found a treasure map earlier and I want to see if we can find some diamonds, because if we find diamonds and then we can go to the Nether, we can get some soul sand and do the final bits of decorating for the cold barn. Now, another thing that I just thought of is if I take these golden nuggets and my carrots, I can make some golden carrots to give me a better food source while I'm out adventuring. So let's change over all of our carrots to golden carrots. I'm also cooking up some additional baked potatoes just to make sure that we have enough food for the journey. And I'm going to bring my lodestone compass so we are always able to find our way back home a lot easier, because we only have 5 days left in this world and going on an adventure is kind of last minute, but I kind of really want to get those soul lanterns for our cold barn. I think it would be so cool. So we are going off on an adventure to hopefully find the diamonds. If I don't have diamonds in the chest, I will be a little bit disappointed, but you know, maybe we'll find some other goodies. But I just figured one last adventure sounded like a good time. So without further ado, let's make sure we got a bed, we've got some bundles, some food, so let's go exploring. And after traversing up the hill and down the other side, stopping to make a quick boat, we finally found some open water to really start making some headway towards finding the buried treasure chest. As we boated through the night, we stumbled upon another sunken ship, picked up some iron and other goodies. In the second chest we checked, we found some armor trims and a second map, which was actually different than our original one we were following. So since I assumed the new treasure map would have their treasure nearby, we took a quick detour from our adventure, finally locating the treasure chest, and we found our first 2 diamonds of the world. With the side chest quest completed, we were back on track looking for our buried treasure. And as we boated through the night, it led us into day 96, where we continued boating, checking the map, running across land, checking the map some more, finding a village, which, since it didn't have a blacksmith structure, we just grabbed some hay bales for backup food and kept on searching. Eventually, the map finally started filling in, and we checked the chest just to find exactly what we were hoping we'd find: diamonds. With our precious diamonds, iron, and other goodies in hand, we took a quick snack break and made our way towards home across different biomes, slept on the ocean floor before continuing on foot, using our compass to guide us back home. On day 97, we finally made it back home where we crafted our first diamond pickaxe of the world, grabbed our flint and steel, and collected up all the obsidian we'd need to build ourselves a nether portal. Alright, now that we finally have our obsidian, I'm thinking that I want to place this portal inside our little red barn here, and I kind of feel like if we put it in the sides right here, this will actually work really well. So if we go like so, we'll remove these 3 up here, these 3 on the sides, and then we'll also remove 3 in the floor, and this should complete our portal. And then what I'm also thinking we'll do is I'm gonna grab some spruce trap doors just so that we can kind of cover over the obsidian with those, just so that this looks a little bit prettier. But before we do that, let's quickly light it. There we go. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm literally so hyped. I really hope that we can get an easy way to get some soul sand. I don't think it will be too difficult. Even if we don't have a soul sand valley nearby us, we just need to go to the edge of the lava, and sometimes you can find it there. But let's quickly grab some of our spruce trap doors and extra spruce and craft some more of them up. And then we will place our diamond, lapis, our other goodies nearby. And I do need gold armor. However, I don't have any. I have gold tools, but that's not going to help me in the nether. So we're just going to rely on shields and pillaring blocks to get us around. And I just noticed that it is night, so we are quickly going to go to sleep and start a fresh day of going into the nether. All right, I'm bringing a backup shield. We've got extra pillaring blocks. We've got crafting tables and wood and our pickaxe, a flint and steel. Now what we're going to do is quickly just go and add the trapdoors before we go into the nether. All right, just like so. There we go. Cover those up on this side, and then I'll also remove this one, and we'll add trapdoors over here, just like so. Then we'll add a trapdoor there, swap this one out, and there we go. Okay. I guess there's no better time like the present to figure out where we are in the nether. I think before we actually go, this is me kind of procrastinating, but also kind of wanting to have better tools, because I would have a stone axe to do some chopping. So we're not going to go in with stone tools since we did just get a bunch. So I say let's do a iron sword, and let's do an iron axe. Okay, here we go. I'm not scared at all. Here we go. Immediately, we started checking around us to see what biomes and mobs we had, and we even saw a soul sand valley in the distance. As we started making our way down, we were spotted by a ghast. Okay, we're just gonna run. We're just gonna run. And our running took us right past a piglin who got mad that we weren't wearing the armor of their people, so after getting shot in the back, we decided we had to take them out. We then began trying to bridge over to where the soul sand valley was, but another ghast spotted us, even making us eat our golden apple in a panic. It's fine. Ah! I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it! I'm scared! Once the coast was clear, we bridged over and collected up the soul sand. I'm shaking in my Minecraft boots because I'm terrified. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. Okay. Normal zombie piglins, I'm okay with you guys. I'm okay with you guys. Oh my gosh, please don't see me. Please don't see me. Oh, my Lanta. Oh, that was scary. Okay, it's fine. We did it. Whew. Yep. Okay. That was terrifying. Okay, let's make some soul lanterns and add some coziness and cottagecore vibes to our cold barn now. So let's make a few more of these and some soul lanterns, and then we're going to convert some more of our iron nuggies, and then we can make some more soul lanterns, and 10 should be perfect. There we go. Oh, that looks so much better for a cold barn actually having some cold lighting. I'm happy with that. I'm glad we went into the Nether, even though I was absolutely terrified. The next thing I want to work on is actually making a little honeycomb harvesting little garden square, as well as another tulip square. And I think a little stall to sell our different crops from our farm would also be a good addition. Now, as far as where I want to connect up my honey harvesting square, I want it to be pretty well lined up with what we have going on with all of our squares. So I'm just kind of bringing this all the way over. Now, I'm thinking we will have our little honey harvesting station be right here, and it's gonna be pretty small. I'm gonna use some of our oak fences in the corners. It's not gonna be anything too crazy, but we're just going to get 4 of these going in the corners. We'll get our campfires going on the 4 sides, get the beehives going above them. There we go. And I want to use our oak trap doors to cover these over like so. We'll also get some of our spare tulips in here as well, and our other flowers. There we go. That way our little bees can start coming over this direction as they see the lovely little tasty flowers for them to enjoy. Oh, we have a guest. Out you go. Oh, hey, carrot. Nice. Then we'll jump up here. Oh, looks like they called reinforcements. Hi, guys. And let's just fill this all in. Are you burning because of the sun? I would assume, not because of the campfires. Either way. Ow! Oh, how'd you get to me? Get down, silly. And we're also gonna go and grab some leaves because I do want to incorporate some of those into the roofs like we have with these other ones. And another thing that I have to mention is we are on day 99. We have 1 more day to reach day 100 in this world, and I absolutely love how our farm is looking so far, but we still have things to do. We are not done by any means. So with our trapdoors and leaves, we are going to space this out every other. And I think this will look really cool. Now we just need to make sure that the leaves go where they're supposed to. Let's see, that has a trapdoor, that has a trapdoor, that has a trapdoor, and now it's kind of every other, and I think that looks really cool. So this is what we have for our little bee setup, and then the next thing I want to work on is getting a little garden bed for our tulips. I also noticed earlier that I hadn't finished adding in all the trapdoors, so let's just do this really quick. Now, as far as how far apart I want the tulip beds to go, we're just going to have about 5 in between. So we're going to have a path be 3 wide. Then we're going to have our little corner bit where we're going to have our little fence coming in. And we're going to match these like so. And then we're just going to fill them in so that I'm able to get the trap doors to be on the corners here like so. There we go. And then we just run our coarse dirt all the way along here to fill this all in for our tulip bed. We'll get our tulips in place. There we go. Our tulip bed is all in place. And honestly, we're not gonna need a lot of space for our little market stall. We're just gonna put it right here. So let's put a crafting table down next to our other one. Do you guys ever do that? Where you place one down and then you realize that you already just had one out? Yeah, okay. All right, now we're going to just create these 4 high and same with this one. And then let's have this be 4 wide, and then just to make it look more like it's actually a little like stall with a little edge hanging out, we're gonna replace some of these full blocks with some stairs on this side like so. And honestly, we will bring this out just a little bit further. And there we go. We've got that one. And that one. There we go. Perfect. And I'm making 4 barrels for our various crops that we'll be selling. And we can kind of just put them all in the barrels together. I think that will look best. And we will move this barrel over to the other side. so it's more centered and balanced. There we go. And we will also add in a few little decorative leaves around the sides and in the front. And I know that I have some clay, so we will smelt up some of this clay to make some pots. All right, we've got 1 pot and we've got 2 pots. We'll place 1 pot right there and add in some of our tulips, and the other one can go right here. Now we'll take down our signs and we'll write carrots, wheat, beetroot, and potatoes. The last part we're gonna do is the roof, and I am curious to see what it looks like with the campfires mixed in. Yeah, I think that could look cool. Okay, so we will scatter in some campfires every so often in with our other trapdoors. And the final trapdoor, there we go. We've got a nice little market stall for all of the crops that we can sell at our farm, and I think this is super cute. And if you notice the day count, we've officially made it to day 100. I can't believe we finally made it. But the other thing that I want to do before we end this video is I want to name the 3 barns and our farm overall. Now, when I was thinking of names for our warm barn behind me, I wanted to incorporate some of the new features of our recent update. And one of those is the cactus blossoms that we get on top of the cactuses now. And so the name that we are going with for the warm barn is Cactus Blossom Corral. And I think that is a very fitting name. Now, of course, with the cold biome, I wanted to incorporate some of the cold, frigid, kind of frosty vibes for this one, so this barn is going to be called Frosted Hoof Farm. And of course, with the temperate barn, we need to go with something a little bit more traditional or basic, but I did kind of think, because we have all of these flower beds in front of it, and we have a little section where we're able to harvest some honey, that we would kind of incorporate some of these flowery vibes into our name. So we're calling this one Honey Blossom Barn. But now that we have gotten all of our barns for our different new farm animals individually named, we need to think of a name for this farm and barnyard overall. And with all of these beautiful builds, it has to be something really good. So we are calling our barn Frost and Flames Farm. And with our cozy farm officially named, that wraps up this 100 days. I am so proud of everything that we were able to get done in these 100 days, and the fact that we were able to make both a warm barn for the warm biome farm animals, as well as a cold barn for our new cold biome friends, and making a barn for our temperate farm animals. It feels like such an accomplishment. I would definitely say that we have successfully built the ultimate cozy barn, and I'm so happy that all of our barnyard friends have a beautiful new house, and I personally am so proud of what we've made. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone!